Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Pretty wonderful. Today is Monday, October 10th, Indigenous Peoples Day. Here in the United States, certainly in New Mexico, I think there are places in the United States where it is still Columbus Day, but I believe federally it's officially Indigenous Peoples Day. Federal holiday here in the US. It's a federal holiday in Canada as well. It's Canadian Thanksgiving. So lots of people off today, enjoying the long weekend. Um, Last hurrah, perhaps, before Thanksgiving, right? It's not that long. It's funny, Halloween's coming in a few weeks. I feel like I've been in a little bit of denial, maybe because our weather has been so beautiful this fall. But it's like, oh, I should probably get out my Halloween decorations at some point, though I'm not sure if I feel like it. I don't know why. I think I'm not feeling like it's really Halloween yet. I mean, I still have, if you're on video, you can see the flowers behind me. The flowers are still blooming here. I did notice on my calendar that, oh, I mentioned this on Friday, didn't I? How I'm becoming my grandmother by marking things on the calendar, but sometimes it's useful that I brought the potted plants in on October 10th last year. So today. And we're just nowhere near freezing yet, so I don't need to do that. It's supposed to be sunny today. Our rain finally stopped, but it continued raining through all of Saturday. And by yesterday morning, I guess Saturday evening, the clouds were really starting to clear out. But we got over an inch of rain. That's a lot for us. And my mom says they've been getting a lot of rain in Tucson, which is unusual for them to get it in October. So, unusual weather patterns. Yeah, so maybe I'll get enthused about putting out Halloween decorations. David keeps wanting to do a neighborhood party, and I've been kind of putting that off. Uh, one of the things about planning a party is that I don't know how David's going to feel on any given day. And yeah, so it just makes it kind of difficult to plan. So I am working today, getting ready to. I really want to get going on this novella. And I don't know if this get going the right term. I've got about 7,000 words on it now. Uh, and if I get 15,000 words this week, which is my goal, I could have it mostly done and then revised next week. And I would like that. Exciting news, I have the cover for Familiar Winter Magic for the standalone, the story that was in Fire of the Frost. So I just need to get that standalone formatted, and then I will put that up for for you all to be able to buy standalone. So I need to get that pre-order set up. I got good things done this weekend. I also socialized a lot this weekend, which was good. It was fun. Jane Linskold came up from Albuquerque and did a reading at Beastly Books. And so I got to see people I hadn't seen for a while. Twig, the manager at Beastly Books, is awesome. And I had not seen him since July. Yeah. So for no good reason. I think partly because it's been conference season. So we made plans. I got to have several long conversations. That's a nice thing about those kinds of readings and stuff is then people hang out and chat. So I got to have several long conversations with people, and it just felt satisfying, to have non-rushed conversations. It was funny because one gal that I feel like I've talked to several times, and we, I don't know, stood, like a little bit in the hallway of the bookstore. People had to keep going between our conversation, she and Emily Ma and I, and we were, people were like, "Oh, excuse me." We're like, "No, no, no, go buy books. Sorry, we're just like, like when you're on either side of the hallway." There wasn't really a better way to do it. It's not a big space. But then she says to me, I bet we stood there and talked 15, 20 minutes. And finally she says, well, she said, sometime we need to sit down and have a real conversation. I would like that. And I mean, like she's been to my house. So I'm not sure. What does that mean? Am I overthinking? I made oh no, I'll keep on this track because I do have a note of something to talk about, but I'll try to stay on topic for a little while. So yeah, I did that, and I got to video chat with a friend, and that was good. And I mean, did things like laundry, descaled my Nespresso maker. Longtime listeners or daily listeners will be pleased to know that I did finally descale the Nespresso, and it did make a big difference. Do you all think I could deduct the money I spend on coffee because of this podcast? What an amusing thought. Didn't occur to me before. I bet I could. I have to, my taxes should be ready this week. So I'm sort of sitting on some money in case I have to pay it to the government. Um, and then yesterday, I was being a good kitty and I was going to get all the things done. And my friend Megan texted and said that she was going to be free for brunch. And so we had a lovely brunch. It was a really good time. We sat at the bar at Capitol Grill, and I indulged in the cornflake coated French toast. And you probably don't need this much detail, but you're getting it. And it was the combo, so I had the ham and the eggs, and I got the mushroom gravy on the side for the ham, and it was delicious. And we had Bloody Marys, and then we had mimosas, and we had great conversation. And then I came home and I did start getting my fall winter clothes out and putting the spring summer away. So I am moving my way into fall. So, but I have a number of businessy things to take care of, including getting that pre-order for Familiar Winter Magic up. As soon as I get that done, I'll do the cover reveal so that you all can order it. Uh, probably, it'll probably be available by like tomorrow or the next day. So, and the cover's really pretty. So pretty. I'll do a teaser on the show notes. Do you all like the teaser or not? Is it just frustrating? Do I care? I'm going to do the teaser anyway. But I do want to save the full cover for when you can click. Uh, so other things that happened this weekend. I'm trying to decide which thing to lead with. So this is the thing I made a note of, that someone posted this. I don't know where I saw it, like went by my social media, probably Twitter, but they posted this line, and I saved it. She loves the bare, the withered tree. She walks the sodden pasture lane. And that's Robert Frost. She loves the bare, the withered tree. She walks the sodden pasture lane. Two lines. Two lines. And admittedly, I've always loved Robert Frost. But it's she loves the bare, the withered tree. She walks the sodden pasture lane. So 8 words? No, I did that wrong, didn't I? Um, 7 plus, it's easier to look at it, do it. 7 plus 6. So 13 words. 13 words, not even, as my agent would call them, $5 words. And yet it evokes such a strong image. And and even just seeing it go by on Twitter, I went, oh, and it gave me that visceral feeling. How does a person do that in so few words? Uh, I just, and I, it struck me in part because I didn't recognize which poem it is. And I have the big Robert Frost compendium, though it's probably easier to Google it. But I've been thinking about that so much. I was talking to an aspiring author not long ago about, he was telling me that the critiques he's getting on his work is that people say that they don't feel confident in the story that he's telling and that he's not sure how to fix that. And I said, I always come back to this analogy of when I was in graduate school and I took a play directing class, um, mostly so I wouldn't be science brain all the time. And as the final part of the course was we put on one act plays for the public. And it was very interesting to me because one of the things that I learned from play directing was that the where I wasn't crystal clear on what was going on in the play and the story, the audience was also not clear. Or vice versa, where people told me they didn't understand what was going on, those were parts where I hadn't been really certain of what I was trying to show. And so it's this intangible aspect of the creative story, right? Where the person who is crafting it, who's delivering it to you, and with play directing, you're taking someone else's words and putting it out there for you, that somehow, I don't know, I feel like we cannot get away from the fact that there is this subconscious communication and that somehow a poet like Robert Frost, a amazing poet, gorgeous poet, um, accolades, that somehow in those few lines that he had such a crisp understanding or crisp feeling that he layered into those 13 words, that it evoked something visceral that I could I could see this image, and that it gave me an emotion. It gave a possibly indefinable emotion, an emotion of 2 lines and 13 words. And so I think we come back to this when people talk about what is good, what is art, who am I? That, and in many ways, are not easily definable, not easily understood, certainly not something that is always teachable or learnable. Maybe it might be something that we put together over time with our craft. So this is the other thing that I've been thinking about, is like reader expectations. And I think I'm going to write up, probably for my blog post Wednesday, I should like write up a real essay for it. But it's a big difference between, I used to get paid for essays, now I put them on my blog. But reader expectations, making the reader happy. So someone who was reading Bright Familiar told me that they were very surprised, and this is ever so slightly spoilery. I mean, it's about an event that happens later in the book, but tell me if, I mean, you could tap out for like a minute. I wish there was a way to like selectively mute. But anyway, the point at which, I think I can do this without spoiling, when they're trying to fix the levee. And so the spoiler part is, dun, 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 is that Gabriel succeeds. that, and it's a big show. And the person who was commenting on this said that they thought that it was going to be a failure, that it was going to go very badly, and that this would be like a more standard fantasy novel trope. And they had commented that I do things differently, and that I get tired of this sometimes, this thing of your audience must expect different things. And I think that by that audience, we mean romance lovers, right? And so I've been thinking about that, and I thought, well, yeah, definitely I wanted that to be a big display for reasons. I also felt like Gabriel had suffered through the whole ignominy of trying to raise the Mans. But this person was commenting saying, I think you do some things in your books, and they're just trying to understand how I do what I do, sort of studying the way that I do things. So it's not intended as criticism, but they said, I think you put things in your books just to make your readers happy. And I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, well, yes. I do things to make my readers happy. And writing this novella, the Sugar Plum Holiday novella, which has turned out to have slightly more conflict than I anticipated, but still, I'm writing this entirely to make my readers happy. And it's like, why why is that a debate? Why is there the converse position where maybe we are not making readers happy, where we don't do things to make readers happy because it is somehow more meaningful, right? And so we can have all of these debates about the intensity of literature and, what is literature, what is art. Hummingbird is over here. Hummingbirds are still here. It's not time for Halloween decorations when there's hummingbirds. I can't bring the two of them together. And I know many of you live in much warmer places than I do, but still. Yeah, drink up, honey, because you are going to have to head south. We'll miss you. Anyway, sorry, back on topic. I was reading this book, and I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a book by a very well-known author who is also a friend and who is a wonderful writer. I very, very much enjoy their writing. They've won big awards, deservedly so, I think. And I was reading this book and enjoyed it at first, but it had begun to feel like a slog. And where I was just like, ugh. I'm, I was torn because I was enjoying the writing and enjoying the character. I really enjoyed the protagonist, but the story itself was not gripping me. And also, it felt kind of relentlessly dark, that there were, it was supposed to be like one bad thing after another happening. And but I was just starting to, I wasn't enjoying it. The reader was not happy. And I know a lot of people feel like that's not important, right? And that's not what this story was supposed to be, right? And it's not romance, even though this author is known for having romantic elements. And there was a romance in the book, in that the protagonist has a very rich and happy marriage with her husband. And that was an important part of the story. And so, but I was feeling a little bit blue over the weekend, and I started to think, is it this book? Because I didn't really have any other reasons to feel blue, um, other than like maybe a lot of rain. But normally I like that, right? And so I thought, well, maybe this book is kind of getting me down. And so I was considering DNFing it, because I thought, life is short and I don't want to read, if I'm, yeah. And so, and then the author killed the protagonist's husband. And so I was reading this yesterday morning. Yeah, yesterday morning with my coffee out on the portal. It was sunny. I was having a good time considering DNFing this book though, and then the protagonist's husband gets killed. And I like paged ahead in the Kindle a little bit. I looked at some of the reviews to see maybe he's not really dead. Reader, he was really dead. And I know that the author did not break the contract necessarily because this was not a romance. But I didn't see it coming and I didn't expect that major of a character to be killed. And I I tapped out. I thought I cannot do this. And so in this case, I was not happy. And I know that there are many people who will say that I don't need to be happy as a reader, right? And that's not what this book is supposed to do. And many, many people have loved this book. I mean, like 1,600 reviews on Amazon, very, very high rating, well thought of book. In fact, the negative reviews, the things that people didn't like about it, amusingly had to do with not liking the protagonist as being a prickly heroine, which you all know how I feel about that. You know, it's like, fuck that shit. Uh, that didn't bother me at all. But yeah. So, I mean, that's one thing about being largely a romance reader is I want to read happy stuff. And I don't mind darkness as long as I get that reward of the occasional happy thing. Um, I would be curious to know, those of you who have read Bright Familiar, if you were surprised that Gabriel succeeded at the levee. Uh, I felt like there had been the moment with finally succeeding at raising the man's, but it was a private moment between him and Nick, whereas this was public, and I felt like it was needed. I don't know. Anyway, thoughts for the day. I'm going to leave you with Robert Frost's words, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. You all take care. I guess I always end with my sign off, don't I? Let's just read it one more time. She loves the bare, the withered tree. She walks the sodden pasture lane. It's a beautiful fall image. All right. I will talk to you all tomorrow. You all take care. Bye bye.